Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We're playing in the Standard League with our Necromancer, still following a solo self-found, and today we're gonna do our tier 9 map. We are playing in the Overgrown Shrine. We have a negative resistances. We lose 8 to our top, so we're gonna be capped at 67, effectively taking about a third more damage than we normally would. Monsters deal almost 80% extra cold damage, or damage as cold, that's even worse. They also resist both chaos and elemental damage, with chance to avoid status ailments, and as a player I gain less flask charges. So this is gonna be a boatload of fun. The boss in the Overgrown Shrine is of course none other than Piety, so this is going to be interesting. See what this map will have to offer us, and whether with our increased defensive tools, whether we are going to be safer than we normally would be. The enemies being more resistant, of course, and dealing more damage effectively means that there is going to be exposed or increased danger to us. It takes us longer to kill enemies, that means they'll have more opportunities to hurt us. Them dealing extra damage is cold, of course, means they'll be doing a lot more damage anyway. And it being cold damage carries a certain risk of chill and freeze for us. That's physical damage, and other sources of damage, of course, I don't have. So, in the particularly hairy situations, things could get a lot more hairy than you would expect them to be. Well, that's of course why we have a bunch of extra defensive tools. See if we can use those to our advantage. Still trying to establish a habit of using the decoy totem, also as a way of simply grouping enemies. I always find the best way to get used to a skill is to just try to use it as often as possible to figure out what situations is useful and which ones it's not. Decoy totem, of course, attracting the attention of enemies. Well, it's certainly a defensive tool, but all defensive tools, well, a lot of defensive tools can also be used offensively if you try hard enough. Also, let's pull out of that cave, since I think it's just filled with an infinite amount of zombies or skeletons. Hey, we got a sapphire flask. Taste of Hate. I believe this one is pretty popular, pretty expensive. I suspect if I had the currency for it, I probably would have bought it from a lacerator. Physical damage taken as cold, and gain extra physical damage as cold. So it's both defensive if you manage to change some physical damage to cold. Similar with lightning coil, of course, that means you'll be able to resist that 20% of physical damage at 75% effectiveness due to your cold resistance being at 75 resists. And it lowers your chance to get frozen and chilled. Unfortunately for this build, we don't do any damage, so the aggressive part is less useful. On the other hand, no, the defensive aspects are not quite bad. Currently I rely on a quartz flask to remove our freeze and chill. And, oh, actually this one doesn't remove that. It does increase our cold resistance, and more importantly the maximum cold resistance, but it does not remove freezing. It gives you a chance to avoid it, but it doesn't remove it. So it's not a good stand-in for a heat flask, but it might be an interesting complement to a heat flask. And for now, let's see if we can go here. That's hey, map drop, and there's stuff behind us. Where did you come from? Did we miss a bridge over the void? There I can go. Well, put a decoy totem in his face, then at least he won't pop back down into the floor. With that, let's go back and see. This was a dead end bridge. This is not a dead end. This is actually the living end. But not for much longer. Another decoy. If we can just draw some mobs in from the other side, that might not have the most aggressive of AIs. Can go again, just put a totem in your face. Works wonders. Spiders incoming, zombies. Just put a totem behind us so the spiders attack the totem instead of us. Works rather well. If you get too many enemies around the decoy totem, then it's just gonna not be very happy with it. Currently it doesn't really have all that much health, but of course that's because it's not a level 19 or a level 20 decoy totem. And we gotta hunt for infected beasts. Bit of luck, we might not have cleared the areas yet where they reside. That said, haven't actually seen any of the clouds yet where the things usually reside, so we'll see. Okay, dead end. Oh, I could have enchanted that one, just to squeeze a little bit more out of it. Ugh. You are... Dischargers, they can hurt. They can definitely hurt. Substantial extra physical damage. That's useful if they have a lot of enemies around here, but if it just buys lonesome, well, with a single skeleton guardian, then it's not really gonna benefit anyone, now will it? Nice, 6 sockets, that means currency swapping. And like that. And let's make a quick top to your pockets. Race course is only a tier 6 map, so still need to find some higher tier maps to at least make the investment of a map and some chisels and an orb of alchemy worth it. On the other hand, no, some maps you get really nice drops, other maps you don't really. Okay, so while discipline here is just a really nice flask for your energy shields. But well, I was thinking like, well, damage is not really all that bad, but then now you walk into a room like that with a couple of dischargers and you get some damage spiking. That's where defensive tools definitely help you. So there's not going to be a separate arena for the piety fight. It should just be somewhere in here. It's similar to the Megara fight. Oh, it's got their own special room. The Megara fight in the cells map. Got their own room, but it is just simply connected to the area. But most of the times when you fight piety, it's going to be a pushover. Let's have a look and see if... Oh, she's gonna be any more challenging now compared to Normally. Decoy Totem having a very strong natural attraction to the enemies. Of course means that if it's in the middle of some caustic clouds, it's just gonna lure them to their doom. That is something I highly approve of. Well, it's a bit like lemmings. It's very good when monsters behave like lemmings. Do some convocation to get the enemy armies at least in our room. I have a bit of a habit, or if you travel longer distances, to just keep streaming after you rather than actually walking in and pursuing the enemy. Oh, wait. Stop trying to damage me. There we go. There we are. So today's news on the Path of Exile side was the announcement for a couple of new unique items. 3 new unique items for the Legacy League, but so far there haven't been a lot of details yet about the changes to the skill tree. You know, they make some vague intentions. There is the wicked one. There's some fake statements of intention, but nothing specific. I'm really looking forward to once they got the things finalized and we can actually have a look in the build planner. Okay, let's put a decoy totem here. If you can distract piety a bit. She's managed to eat all of her zombies. On the other hand, it doesn't really matter. So we keep our golem as a distraction, we got our decoy totem as a distraction. And her lightning is pretty good at not striking me, and those ball lightnings are relatively dodgeable. So in terms of fight mechanics, for a ranged character, this is very, very doable. And now we simply need to revive our army and continue, because there is still work to do. Let's pick up a couple of items and then we'll just push forward. Okay. And we'll just revive some corpses of the enemies here, so I don't have to muck too much with desecrate corpses. Because reviving all of your zombies using desecrate is a little bit of a pain. No, but in this case, no, this map, we had reduced maximum resistance. This makes us more vulnerable to elemental damage. Then the added cold damage definitely helps a little bit there, because it just synergizes rather well. But the rest, it felt relatively safe. So that gives me hope. Now the previous run, thinking of Treasure Island, but it is of course the Tropical Island. Treasure Island is the unique version of that. No, it's just a fun one to do. This is a bit more serious than that one. No, but fun and serious, they are nice to mix and match. Ah, yeah, let's pick up the Shrouded Shrine. And there's 47 mobs remaining. Nice. Okay. Slowly running out of rooms that... okay. Ah yes, we had the corrupted monsters for Zana. Yep, that's them. So she's porting in. Good, good. Q. Again, no, this is level 6 master. Yeah, okay. There's a couple of rooms along the edges here. Yeah, everybody get in. We already got a decoy totem to distract things. You can just channel them to bits. Works well. And then there's 2 more remaining. We stragglers, or is it gonna be just hiding in a corner somewhere? Nope. I guess we're playing hide and seek, and those 2 have won. Just not tell them. There you have it, the Overgrown Shrine. It's a tier 9 map that we did manage to do with this map, with this build. So yeah, no, next episode we're gonna do another tier 9 map. Have to see which one it's gonna be. After that, we're gonna go into tier 10, and we keep pushing to see if and when we find our limits. So for now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.